Well, thanks everyone for joining today's Match Day -1 media availability ahead of Nashville season match Saturday with Inter-Miami for Decision Day. Coach, first match after a little bit of a break from the international window. If you could start just by talking about what it's been like getting back into things, and then of course what you expect to see from Miami Saturday.
Yeah, good. I think it was a good break for us. Opportunity to kind of continue to train, work on some things of ourselves, get some rest and recovery into some guys, and then finally welcome back our international players midweek. So a couple good days of training in preparation for Miami. Miami, really good team, and I would say a team that's also in really good form. So we know what's at stake on Saturday night, and looking forward to having a good performance.
Thanks, Coach. Go ahead, Ben.
Yeah, BJ, just kind of looking at tomorrow, but also just the playoffs in general. What are some things that you're looking to see on the field tomorrow that will kind of maybe make you feel better heading into the playoffs, or give you kind of a better sense of where this team is at?
Yeah, I think we want to be consistent in all the phases, and we want to be executing well in all the phases. So I think for us, that's when we're at our best. We know that it's going to take a good performance to get a win at home. But yeah, I think for us, it's just kind of making sure that we can build on being who we are, and being, I would say, really detailed in all of the phases.
And then I wanted to ask about Taylor, obviously retiring this week, or at the end of the season, but announcing it this week. You've talked a lot about just kind of wanting to establish a culture in this team. How important has he been to that? And I guess just any other thoughts on the announcement?
Yeah, I mean, I've known Taylor since 16 years old, so it dates me, I guess. But I think he embodies what this club's about, and his C sort of DNA. He's been, and not only does he embody it, he's probably one of the guys who built it. And I think that's great credit to him. He's had a tremendous career, and I think it's also important to highlight here with Taylor is he's done a tremendous amount of work in the community. He's great for Nashville, and I think a lot of people have given him a lot of credit for that. He was also a really damn good player, and he's still a good player. And I think that's also something that we need to highlight and spotlight for Taylor, is that you don't just get to stay at a club for 8 years and be part of something that builds and take you along. Like, if you're just good in the community. He's excellent in the community. He is a Nashville guy. But at the same time, he was a really good player. And of course, there's always a level of sadness to see him move on to the chapter of his life, but I think we wish him the best moving into the next sort of chapter that he's going to go tackle, probably with the same intensity and competitiveness and drive that he did to make him a professional soccer player for so many years.
Well,
Peter, what's the key to stopping Messi or maybe containing him?
Yeah, I mean, it's a group effort, right? But at the same time, we're not going to just put all of our focus on Messi. There's other really good players that play, and obviously we know about Alba and DePaul and Busquets and Suarez, but they also, like, the young players that they bring in, do a great job as well. Allende and Rodriguez and these guys. So it's a really good team, and that's something that we've been stressing, is that yes, of course, there's players on Miami that get a lot of notoriety, but it is still a very good team. And to stop Miami, we need to be a very good team and have a good performance that day.
How important is it to go out on a win to close the season out?
Yeah, I mean, for us, I think it's just we know what's at stake, and we know that we have a really good opponent in front of us. And of course, anytime we play, we want to win the game. Being at home in front of our fans, throughout the season, we've had really good performances here, and the expectation is the same.
go ahead, Blair.
BJ, anytime you play Miami or Messi, it's an occasion all of a sudden, right? So what are you doing to kind of maybe control that and make sure that everybody's kind of aware of the game rather than the occasion?
For us, it's continue to just prepare and stick to the way that we go about things for every other game. We highlight the strengths of the opponent. We highlight areas that we think there's opportunities for us to exploit. We prepare for it. We train it. And, at the end of the day, yeah, of course, there's, a lot of outside noise, but these guys are experienced in our locker room. And, I think all year we've shown that we've been able to remain focused and play in big games. And we'll rely on that experience for, Saturday night.
And then Sam Surridge is right almost there in the Golden Boot race. So is that an aspect you've talked about coming into this game? Is there, are you just going to try to get him as many goals as possible to doing that?
I think, I won't speak for Sam, I'll speak for the whole group. I think as long as we can score more goals than Miami, we're not gonna care who scores them. And if he scores them, great. But if Nashville has the more goals in the game that day, I think we're all gonna be happy, we're all gonna be celebrating.
BJ, when you go through this season and you know, having all these guys into conversations like best defender, best scorer, Nashville is everywhere in the conversation for sure this season. What's the feeling for you and inside the group?
Yeah, I mean, I think it's a compliment to the group, the hard work that they started back in preseason, building what they've decided that they wanted to build this season. And the group is confident, right? Like the group is connected, they're cohesive and they're confident, and that comes from, you know, sort of again, doing what we said we wanted to do, and being able to control, you know, I would say being able to control things that we can control, which is a nice feeling. You know, we're not looking for help or anything. We can control what we need.
Getting into that a little bit, I mean, of course, Nashville has to win tomorrow, just to control what you can control, like you're saying, and then wait for other results somewhere else. What's that feeling inside you guys when you think, well, maybe we can still play one more game here in Nashville or two more games here in Nashville for the playoffs? I mean,
That's the goal. That's the objective, right? Is to play as many games at Geodis Park as possible. We know our form here. We know how we play here. We know the support that we get here. We don't take that. We're grateful for that. We don't take that for granted. We've talked about this, is that we are in a partnership with our fans, like connected together with the city of Nashville, and we want to play as many games at home as we can.
Julian?
Is the fact that you are playing a team that's as talented as Inter-Miami kind of helped with the fact that you're not going to look ahead past this final task that you have to, I guess, get over before the playoffs start?
Yeah, I mean, sure. I mean, for me, it's like this group is experienced. We don't look past anybody. We have a ton of respect for every opponent that we play. We basically go through the same process to prepare every single week for every single opponent, and that doesn't change for for anybody that we play. But we certainly have a healthy respect for Miami, and also we know what's at stake, moving towards the postseason.
On top of like the on the pitch stuff, is there something like a mental preparation too that comes with having to contain a guy like Messi?
I mean, I think what you do and what we've spoken about is just being able to continually respond, right? You don't know what's going to happen. We have our game plans. We have how we want to execute. When it's going well, continue to respond in that way. And if some things happen that we don't anticipate, we're prepared to have those responses. And we'll fall back on the experiences that we've had. We've already played Miami. We've played in big games. We've played other really good teams, other really good players. And we'll use those past experiences to help us, on Saturday night.
Anything else, guys?
Yeah, just looking at Miami, I just wanted to ask about Yannick Bright, especially. I feel like he kind of goes under the radar, but he kind of gives everybody else a foundation, especially in midfield. How do you kind of view that midfield and kind of the balance that they're trying to hit there?
Yeah, I mean, I think you see a really well balanced midfield between DePaul, Bright, and Busquets, right? You have a guy who probably in Busquets who likes to sit a little bit deeper, still does a lot of the defensive work, obviously controls and dictates their first phase of buildup. And then you have a player like Yannick and Rodrigo DePaul that can, cover as much ground as that's needed. And I think it allows the forward players above them to be creative and to be interchangeable and those type of things. And then behind them, you have a really solid, I would say backline center backs, fullbacks that I think Jordi Alba's clearly, having a great year with his ability to attack. And then in the right back, they've had a couple different guys there. But you can see a very well-built team that has very clear, the coaches put them in very clear roles and responsibilities. And I think when you have that, you have really good, you can have really good performances like they've been able to put in.
Obviously, we don't want you to tell us here, like any other day, what your plans are for tomorrow. But when you look at a guy like Jordi Alba, who's having that great season, so many assists, he's probably just as dangerous as Messi. you let him do whatever he wants to do. But is that something that you actually have to kind of sit up with the team and say, whoever plays there, maybe Andy, maybe Bauer, whoever, has to probably stay a little behind because of the danger he presents?
Yeah, I think anytime you prepare for an opponent, you're trying to neutralize their strengths and exploit their weaknesses. Certainly, Jordi Alba is a strength for them. And so it's our job as a collective group. It doesn't come down to one individual to stop any other one individual. It comes down to a complete collective effort. And of course, we're aware of how good of players that Jordi Alba is in addition. But we do believe that we've got a good group here. A group that is, like we talked about, trying to out-team teams. And we believe that, maybe 11 players like ourselves collectively playing together can, be more than 11 players. And for us, that's where, that's what we're committed to do, is work both sides of the ball as a complete team.